This time we're going to tie a tubular appendage per one end of tubing liner. You can use a candle or a lighter flame. Slide onto your needle. Cut in your thread. Five or six turns of thread. If you find it slides, you can put a dab of varnish to keep it in place. Nice piece of orange Arctic runner or ice runner. This will form the wing. Remove any fluff from the base of the material. You don't want too much hair. Most new tires select far too much hair and quite a sparse bunch. Keeps the body nice and slim. I've put a turn of thread underneath to keep the tail or wing up in the air, and to help keep it nice and tight and secure. Trim it really close. We're only using about 4 or 5 millimeters of tubing. Piece of pearl lureflash. Cut in 2 or 3 turns. Double it up. Again 2 or 3 turns. Silver angel here. 2 strands. Bring this the full length of the guard hairs. Cut in with 2 or 3 turns. And trim off. Actually, I trimmed off the pearl lureflash there. Double over the silver angel here. So 4 strands of silver angel here and 2 strands of lureflash. Now to secure in place, dab of super glue on the top. This should penetrate down to the base of the hair fibers. Okay, I'm going to take a tippet feather, one that's previously been used, trim out the mid section, It's a good idea to use up your tippet feathers. You can usually tie 2 flies with 1 feather. Tie it in quite long, 3 or 4 turns of thread, and pull back gently, lining it up as you go. As you draw it back, this closes the V, so it looks like a single feather. Just take your time to line it up. Trim off close. I've tied it on quickly so that the super glue is still wet and should hold it in place. Just mind your fingers with the glue. Take an orange Hackle and remove the base fibers. Catch in 2 or 3 turns of thread, double back, another 2 or 3 turns of thread, and trim off. There's enough feather there for about 3 or 4 turns, which is all that's required on most flies. Draw the fibers forward. Pinching the stalk sometimes helps. Line up your first turn, holding the fibers with your fingers. Draw back the fibers. Another turn. Continue to do so until you come to the end of the feather. Catch in the tip with 2 or 3 turns. Move the Hackle pliers. Draw the fibers forward and build up 5 or 6 turns of thread. Trim off the tip of the feather and tidy up the head of the fly. This is the whole fly. All we do now is select a suitable size cone. Touch the super glue on the top, being careful not to get any on the Hackle fibers. Couple of drops of super glue down the thread. Wind on the wet thread. Push on your cone firmly and remove your thread. Give it a minute or 2 to dry if you wish. I'm always in a hurry to get the thing finished. Trim off the liner tubing 3 or 4 millimeters from the head of the fly. Slide back on the needle. And burr the front end of the liner. Just gently does it, until you're happy with it. A little bit sticking out, so I think I'll use a lighter until it's nice and neat. Little touch. There we go. There you have the finished tubular appendage. These help to add length and weight to an existing tube fly. Just slide it on your line before you tie on your tube. There you go.